Welcome to our deep dive into Medicare.
Yeah, getting ready for that next chapter.
Exactly. And we've got some awesome source material.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Emails from a licensed insurance agent.
Yeah, a great perspective.
Lots of different angles on this whole Medicare thing.
Uh-huh. Whether you're turning 65 yourself
Right.
or helping a loved one through it,
Yeah.
it can be a lot.
Oh, it's a lot to take in for sure.
Right.
But one of the things that really jumped out at me in these emails
Yeah.
was that Medicare isn't just about like covering doctor's visits.
Mm-hmm.
It's about something much bigger.
Yeah, one of the emails actually used the phrase peace of mind.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it really resonated with me. Like retirement,
Yeah.
it should be about enjoying life,
Right.
not working about medical bills wiping you out.
Ugh, I can't even imagine.
Right.
And the emails actually drive this point home with some real-life stories.
Yeah.
Like, one person wrote in saying that without Medicare, they wouldn't have been able to afford the surgery that literally saved their life.
It's a powerful example
Yeah.
of how Medicare empowers people to focus on their health
Uh-huh.
instead of the financial burden.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
before we get too deep into the weeds here,
Okay.
let's just like back up for a sec.
Okay.
Who qualifies for Medicare?
Right. Good question.
Is it as simple as turning 65?
Well, it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Most people become eligible at 65
Okay.
if they've worked and paid Medicare taxes for at least 10 years.
Okay. So that's the general rule.
Yeah. But I noticed in the source material,
Oh, yeah.
age isn't the only factor.
Interesting. Okay.
There are situations where someone younger than 65 could qualify,
Oh, really?
like if they have certain disabilities.
Oh, okay.
It's a detail that often gets overlooked.
Yeah, that's really good to know.
Right.
Okay, so eligibility can be kind of complicated.
Okay.
So once you're in, what exactly does Medicare cover?
Well, that's where things get interesting. Medicare isn't just one big thing.
Right, we talked about that in the prep.
Exactly. It's divided into 4 parts,
Okay.
A, B, C, and D.
Gotcha, A, B, C, D.
It's helpful to picture them like puzzle pieces, each covering a different aspect of your healthcare needs.
Okay, I like that analogy.
You actually have a great visual aid in your source material
Oh, yeah, it is a good visual.
that illustrates this perfectly.
Yeah, it really breaks it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so Part A,
Okay.
what does that cover?
Part A is your hospital insurance.
Okay.
Think of it as the safety net if you have a serious medical event
Okay.
that requires inpatient care.
Okay.
So that includes hospital stays,
Okay.
skilled nursing facility care after a hospital stay,
Okay.
and hospice care.
So Part A is kind of like having insurance for the big unexpected stuff.
Exactly.
That could really derail your retirement.
Precisely. It's about having that peace of mind,
Yeah.
knowing you're protected.
If you need some serious medical intervention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Part B.
Okay, Part.
That's your medical insurance,
Oh.
focusing more on the day-to-day management of your health.
So if Part A is the hospital,
Yeah.
Part B is like everything leading up to or following a hospital visit.
Yeah, think of it that way.
So what kinds of things are we talking about here?
Well, Part B covers a wide range of services,
Right.
like doctor's visits,
Yep.
outpatient care,
Gotcha.
preventative screenings and tests,
Mm-hmm.
and durable medical equipment,
Okay.
like wheelchairs or oxygen tanks. It's really about keeping you healthy
Okay.
and managing any ongoing conditions you might have.
So Parts A and B,
Yeah,
they work together to cover a pretty comprehensive range of medical needs.
they really do.
Okay, so what about Part D?
Part D. That's all about prescription drug coverage.
Okay, medications.
Yeah, this is a critical piece of the puzzle for many people.
Yeah, especially as we age.
Exactly. We tend to rely on more medications as we get older.
Right. And the emails actually mentioned that prescription drug costs can be a major concern for people.
Oh, for sure. A major concern.
As they're approaching retirement,
Yeah.
how does Part D help with that?
Part D provides financial assistance with the cost of prescription drugs,
Okay.
helping to make them more affordable.
So it helps people get the medications they need without breaking the bank.
It really does.
So we've got A for hospital stays, B for everyday medical care,
Yes.
and D for prescriptions.
Right.
That leaves us with Part C,
Part C.
which I know is often called Medicare Advantage.
Medicare Advantage, exactly.
So what's that all about?
Well, Part C is a little different.
Okay.
It's offered by private insurance companies,
Mm.
not directly through the government like the other parts.
Oh, okay.
Think of it as an alternative way
Okay,
to
yeah.
seek your Medicare benefits.
So it's kind of like choosing between getting your internet service
Yeah.
directly from a major provider versus going through a smaller company that bundles internet with other services.
That's a great analogy.
That's right.
Medicare Advantage plans often bundle Part A, Part B.
Okay.
and sometimes even Part D into one neat package.
Okay. Like that internet bundle we were just talking about.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And they may include additional benefits that original Medicare doesn't cover.
Like what kinds of things?
Things like vision, dental, or hearing.
Okay. So there are more options there.
More options, more choices.
So it sounds like there's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing the right parts of Medicare.
Definitely a lot to consider.
But before we delve into that,
Yeah.
let's walk through the steps of actually enrolling in Medicare.
All right. Good idea.
What's the process like?
Well, timing is key when it comes to enrollment.
Okay.
There's some important deadlines to be aware of.
Okay.
The source material highlights what's called the initial enrollment period,
Okay.
which starts 7 months before you turn 65 and lasts for 7 months.
Wait, so you can actually enroll in Medicare before you turn 65?
Exactly.
Why is that?
It's designed to give you a window of opportunity to get everything in place before your coverage actually needs to kick in.
Okay.
Missing this window can lead to late enrollment penalties.
Ooh. Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Definitely something you want to avoid.
Okay, so mark your calendars, folks.
7 months before your 65th birthday.
What if you miss that initial enrollment period, though?
Well, you're not totally out of luck.
Okay.
There's also something called the general enrollment period,
Okay.
which runs from January 1st to March 31st each year.
Okay, so there's a backup option.
There's a backup,
Yeah.
but you might face those late enrollment penalties for Part B and Part D
Okay.
if you didn't sign up during your initial enrollment period.
So timing really is everything
Timing is key.
when it comes to enrolling.
Excellent.
So let's say we've got our enrollment ducks in a row.
All right.
What comes next?
Now comes the fun part. Choosing a plan.
Okay, big decision.
This is where it feels a bit like a choose-your-own-adventure story.
Yeah.
And this is where the source material really shines in terms of offering personalized guidance.
Right, because the emails emphasize that choosing a Medicare plan isn't one size fits all.
Exactly. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation at all.
It's about finding the best fit for you.
Yes, your individual needs,
Yeah.
your lifestyle, your budget.
All that stuff comes into play.
Right. And that's what we're going to explore in our next segment.
Awesome. I can't wait.
We'll dive deeper into the different plan options,
Yeah.
compare and contrast original Medicare with Medicare Advantage,
Okay.
and equip you with the knowledge
Yeah.
to make the best decision for your unique circumstances.
Perfect.
So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Okay, so let's jump back into that whole choosing a plan thing.
Right. It's like that choose your own adventure moment we're talking about.
Exactly. There's no single right answer. It's all about what works best for you.
Your own path.
Exactly.
And speaking of paths,
Yeah.
the emails we've been looking at, they lay out those two main routes you can go. Sticking with original Medicare,
Right.
Parts A and B.
Yeah.
Or going with Medicare Advantage,
Part C.
Part C. That's right.
Good way to think about it.
So let's start with original Medicare.
Okay.
What's that like?
Think of original Medicare like that well-worn hiking trail.
Okay.
It's familiar, reliable,
Mm-hmm.
and gives you lots of freedom to explore.
Okay.
You can choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare
Oh, wow.
nationwide.
So it's all about flexibility,
It is all about flexibility.
having that freedom to roam.
Exactly, you got it.
But I'm guessing there are some trade-offs,
There are always trade-offs.
right? Like if it's so flexible,
Yeah.
there's got to be a catch.
Well, while original Medicare gives you that wide open access,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't cover everything.
Okay. What kinds of things are we talking about?
For example, it doesn't usually include vision, dental, or hearing.
Oh, right. Which, as we get older,
Yeah, those become more and more important.
more and more important for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember the emails mentioned something called Medigap.
Ah, yes, Medigap.
Is that connected to these gaps in coverage we're talking about?
You get a Medigap policy.
Okay.
It's like supplemental insurance.
Okay.
You can buy it to help cover some of those out-of-pocket costs
Mm-hmm.
that original Medicare doesn't cover,
Like what?
like co-payments, co-insurance deductibles.
Okay.
It's like adding another layer of protection.
To your hiking gear.
Exactly, to your hiking gear.
I like that.
So with original Medicare, you have the freedom,
Uh-huh.
but you might need to pack some extra supplies,
To be fully prepared.
right, to be extra safe.
Okay, so let's switch gears now.
Okay, let's do it.
Talk about Medicare Advantage.
Okay.
What's that like?
Think of Medicare Advantage like a guided tour,
Okay.
still an adventure,
Uh-huh.
but with more of a set itinerary,
So instead of like forging my own trail,
right?
I'm joining a group
Yeah,
with a plan.
exactly. You got it.
Okay, I like that analogy.
So Medicare Advantage plans offered by private insurance companies.
Okay.
They bundle Part A, Part B,
Okay.
and often Part D into one comprehensive package.
Convenient.
Very convenient.
Like having all your travel essentials packed for you in one neat suitcase.
I like it.
But I'm sure there are some things to think about
Always things to think about.
before signing up for a guided tour.
Right, because with Medicare Advantage,
Yeah.
you're typically limited to a network of providers.
Oh, okay. So that means
You need to choose doctors and hospitals within that network
okay.
to get the full benefits.
Exactly.
With less flexibility
A little less flexibility.
compared to original Medicare,
Right.
where you can pretty much go anywhere.
Right.
What if I need to see a specialist
Yeah.
who's not in my plan's network?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, what happens then?
That's something to ask before choosing a plan.
Okay.
Because you might have limited coverage,
Oh.
or you might face higher out-of-pocket costs.
So it's like straying from the tour group.
You can still explore, but it'll cost you.
You'll pay a little extra for that freedom.
Okay, so with Medicare Advantage,
Yeah.
it's about weighing that convenience
Right.
of the bundled package
Yeah.
against the potential limitations of a network.
It's all about finding that balance
Oh, that's right.
for your needs and preferences.
Okay.
Some people really value the freedom and flexibility of original Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Others prefer the predictability and that comprehensive coverage of Medicare Advantage.
Right. Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly.
The emails also mention that working with an insurance agent
Yeah.
can be super helpful in
Absolutely.
making these decisions.
A good agent can help you navigate all the complexities
Yeah.
of the different plans, compare costs, and find one that aligns with your budget and your priorities.
So it's like having a knowledgeable tour guide
It's exactly like having a tour guide
leading the way.
who can help you choose the best route for you.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to shift gears for a minute here.
Right. Talk about those folks who are helping their loved ones navigate this whole Medicare journey.
Yeah, that's important.
The emails has some good advice for them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. One of the most important things is just being there,
Okay.
offering emotional support.
Yeah.
It can be daunting.
Yeah. Overwhelming.
Just having someone to listen to, answer questions,
Yeah, just be there.
can make a world of difference.
It's recognizing that this isn't just about paperwork and deadlines.
Right, it's a big life transition.
Yeah, exactly.
The emails also highlighted some practical tips, too.
Okay. Like
Attending appointments together, helping with paperwork, researching plan options as a team.
working together.
Exactly.
So it's not about taking over.
Not about taking over.
It's about being a partner,
A partner in the process.
supporting them.
Exactly.
I love that. And I imagine these conversations can
Yeah.
spark some important reflections
No, for sure.
for the person who's doing this supporting. Right, because it's a chance to think about your own future healthcare needs.
It's like getting a sneak peek at what's to come.
Yeah, and starting to plan your own journey.
All right, so before we move on to some real-life scenarios,
Okay.
let's recap what we've learned about choosing a plan.
Good idea. So we've talked about those two main paths.
Right.
Original Medicare offering that flexibility,
Uh-huh.
but you might need that extra coverage with a Medigap policy,
Okay.
and then there's Medicare Advantage,
Yeah.
providing that bundled package.
Right.
But it could have those network limitations.
Right. And of course, we talked about the importance of support
Yeah.
and open communication.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when helping loved ones through this.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And remember, there's no one right answer.
No one size fits all.
It's about finding the best fit for each individual.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've laid the groundwork here.
We have.
Now let's see how this all plays out.
Yes, let's get into some real-life examples.
In practice?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see how these different Medicare options actually work.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the ins and outs of Medicare.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But let's bring it all together now
Okay, sounds good.
and see how it works in real life.
Let's do it. Let's walk through some scenarios.
Yeah, are you ready for some choose-your-own-adventure action?
I am ready. Let's go.
Okay, so let's say we have a listener. We'll call her Sarah.
Okay.
Sarah's just retired, loves to stay active,
Okay.
and is in pretty good health overall.
Sounds like she's living the dream.
Right. So what kind of Medicare experience
Yeah.
might someone like Sarah be looking for?
Well, if Sarah values flexibility
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
being able to see any doctor she wants,
Uh-huh.
sticking with original Medicare Parts A and B
Go.
might be a good fit.
Makes sense.
But remember, original Medicare doesn't cover everything.
Right, we talked about that.
She might want to think about adding a Part D plan.
Okay, for prescription drug coverage.
Exactly. Especially as those costs can add up over time. Yeah, that's true. And since Sarah's all about staying healthy and active,
Yeah.
I remember the emails mentioned she might want to look into a Medigap policy.
Ah, yes. A Medigap policy could help cover some of those out-of-pocket costs
Oh, okay.
that come with original Medicare.
Like the co-payments and deductibles.
Exactly. It's like an extra layer of protection.
Okay, so for someone like Sarah, she could kind of customize her coverage
Right.
by combining original Medicare with a Part D plan and a Medigap policy.
That's a great option for someone like her.
Okay, so let's imagine a different listener now.
Okay.
We'll call him David.
David, okay.
David has some chronic health conditions,
Okay.
takes multiple medications.
So a different situation than Sarah.
Yeah, different needs.
Yeah.
How might his Medicare journey look different?
Well, in David's case,
Yeah.
a Medicare Advantage plan might be a good option.
Okay, and why is that?
Because, remember, those plans often bundle Part A, B, and D.
Right.
So it's more comprehensive coverage right off the bat.
Right, so that bundled approach could be really appealing for someone like David who's dealing with those more regular healthcare expenses.
Exactly. But one thing to keep in mind with Medicare Advantage
Yeah.
is that they often have networks.
Right. We talked about that.
So if David has a specialist he really likes,
Mm-hmm.
he wants to make sure that doctors in the plan's network.
Yeah, good point. Otherwise,
Right.
you might have to switch doctors or pay more.
Exactly. You really have to look at those details.
So choosing a Medicare plan,
Yeah.
it's not just about the coverage itself.
No, it's about all the details.
It's got to align with your needs.
Your preferences, everything.
And speaking of making those decisions, the emails made it clear you don't have to do it alone.
Oh, for sure.
There's help out there.
Absolutely. There are resources available.
Like what?
Well, the Medicare website,
Okay.
that's a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to an insurance agent,
Right.
they could be super helpful.
Like a guide for your Medicare journey.
Right. It's exactly like having a guide.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive on Medicare,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you want listeners to take away from all this?
I'd say the most important thing is
Yeah.
you have the power to choose the plan that's right for you.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research, advocate for yourself.
Yeah, be informed.
Be informed
Yeah.
and make those choices.
Right, and we've given you the tools and the knowledge to do just that,
We've tried our best.
to approach this next chapter with confidence.
Yeah. And remember, you're not alone in this.
No, lots of resources and people to help you.
Exactly. Now we want to leave you with a final thought to consider.
Okay, I like it.
As you approach this stage in life,
Yeah.
what part of Medicare feels most important
Mm,
for your peace of mind?
good question.
Take some time to think about that.
It's all about finding that peace of mind.
It really is.
We hope this deep dive has been helpful and maybe even a little bit fun.
I hope so.
And remember, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
And now you are well equipped to navigate the world of Medicare.
You got this.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay well.